Hello, and welcome to the ComSpark Magazine interview series. My name is Jim Burden with the Head Technologies, and we are partnering with the ComSpark Magazine for a series of interviews with clients from all over Central Ohio from different industries. And today I have the pleasure of talking with Bryan Holmes, the CIO for Andelin Biosciences. Bryan, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks, Jim. Great to be here today.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your career path. And I'm especially interested to know how a Penn State fan ended up in the heart of Central Ohio.
Yeah, well, we could start with that, right? It's keep your friends close and enemies closer, right? Yeah, no, after I graduated Penn State, I started my career in the pharmaceutical industry, and I've been in the industry for my entire career now, so 20 plus years. I started at Merck out in Philadelphia. Actually took a side trip over to Australia for about 14, 15 months working for Merck there. And then I came back and actually moved to Northeast Ohio and was consulting for about 5 years. Following that, joined a company called Boehringer Ingelheim. And this was really where a lot of things changed when joined that company up in Cleveland. We had some significant quality issues going through consent decrees and a lot of challenges that you'd say was really a once in a lifetime opportunity, and hopefully just once in a lifetime that go through. When I was there, I was responsible for quality systems and expanded my role into both the development systems as well as our sales and marketing side of the branch. That side, unfortunately, had to close down after the consent decree, which then I wanted to stay with the parent company and moved down to Columbus to become the head of IT at the site here in Columbus. And I remember this well because I moved down here in October of 2014. My second child was just born in September of 2014. And in November, Boehringer Ingelheim announced that they were pursuing strategic options for the site, which we all know means that they're going to sell it. So, Mike, do I finish unpacking or what do I do? I decided to really go at it, and going through a divestiture and carve out exercise was you really learn a lot in that experience. And so the company that acquired us was called Westward at the time and became renamed and rebranded to Hikma, which was another global generics pharmaceutical organization. And I then became the head of IT in the U.S. And I did that for about 5 years. And then last year, I guess right before the pandemic really kicked off, Nationwide Children's Hospital made the announcement that Andelin Biosciences was going to be formed as a for-profit institution that they were going to carve out from the hospital, focused on gene therapy, and build a brand new manufacturing facility in Columbus here. And I thought, what better opportunity than to be part of something from really the ground up and in our backyard. So I reached out to a former colleague and said, hey, what about me? Look at me. Went through the series of discussions last year and joined the company in December of last year to lead up the IT group in this greenfield opportunity.
Great path, and it looks like you've arrived at a pretty special place. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Andelin Biosciences and what they do, what their focus is?
Yeah, so Andelin Biosciences, one of the interesting things about it, our background being formed out of Nationwide Children's Hospital. Nationwide Children's Hospital has one of the leading pediatric research institutes in the country, and we're really at the forefront of genetics medicine side of things. In 2006, I think was when the first patient, Andrew Kilbarger, had received treatment from Nationwide Children's Hospital for Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. The name of our company, Andelin, was named from the first two patients. One was Andrew, and the second was Evelyn. And it gives me goosebumps every time I say that. I actually had the pleasure to meet Andrew Kilbarger a couple of weeks ago at an event in Columbus, and look forward to being able to meet Evelyn soon as well. So the idea here is that the hospital was really good at the research side of it. We found that we actually had a lot of skills in being able to manufacture the products and take it from concept to development and then to scaling into the manufacturing side of it. So the idea there was that the hospital research, and then manufacturing. Those three don't really triangulate all that well. So the decision was made to really stand up Andelin as a new company focused on contract development and manufacturing. So we look at other research institutes, whether it's hospitals, other biotech, pharma companies that are in either early stage development or are looking for commercial scale manufacturing, and they come to Andelin Biosciences. So we have our new manufacturing site's being built in the Innovation District within the Columbus, Ohio State West Campus. So, as you said, keep the enemies closer. They'll be real close, but we're going to be one of the anchor tenants in that Innovation District, and super exciting time for both Columbus, for Andelin, for Nationwide Children's, and everybody around.
Seems like a great new company to join the fold in Columbus. So good for you. So as the new CIO and obviously as a new company, what priorities have you set down, or what are you trying to get done in your role?
Yeah, so there's a lot, right? So it's a joke that sometimes our team can be like children, like I want it and I want it now, right? So how do you balance the prioritization? How do you balance especially when folks have come from more mature industries, and being in a regulated industry, there's a lot of controls and systems in place. Well, what's the right pace to be able to implement these controls, but not take away from the startup feel and flair that we have as an emerging organization. One of the things that, as we are being stood up outside of Nationwide Children's, is that we have this really unique opportunity to be a greenfield company. So with that comes, well, what's our security strategy? How do we build and how do we design with security in mind? You look at companies nowadays that spend tons of time and lots of money on remediation for potential holes in security design, or they have shelfware because they buy a number of different solutions that they accrue over the years, and the amount of technical debt that a lot of these organizations that have been around for a while have accrued over the years. Well, we have the opportunity to not do that. And so for me, when we look at things like how do we have our cloud first strategy, how do we look at it from not just an application perspective, but even when we're making decisions around our core network, our firewall, our zero trust approach, our content management. How do we look at this either from true SaaS solutions? How do we look at it from cloud portals? How do we look at it to say we can set ourselves up with the ability to expand and ensure that we're built for tomorrow's needs. So I think a lot of that is really the priorities. How do we set ourselves up as a company at the right scale with the right technologies, not overdo it, not have shelfware, and be cognizant of our fiduciary responsibilities as a new startup.
Sounds like you got your hands full, that's for sure. So we always like to ask a couple personal questions. I'm not sure, knowing that you got your hands so full, and I know you got a couple little ones, this may not even be applicable, but what's your favorite go-to place in town to eat dinner?
We are so lucky in Columbus that from all the different the different restaurants and everything we have. I mean, with Cameron Mitchell, you can pretty much name a Cameron Mitchell, and it's going to be top-notch service and top-notch food. One of the ones that really come to love is the Del Mar down in the Short North. It's great. And then if I think of as mentioned, have three young kids, we like to go to the Bogey in Dublin or to 101 Beer Kitchen. Best wings I've ever had, 101 Beer Kitchen. So highly recommend that.
Very nice, very nice. They'll probably send you some for the advertisement. Okay. Last personal question. Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to your young 25-year-old?
Yeah, that's a great question, right? And so when I think back to where I was in my career, probably one advice would be buy and hold. So some of those opportunities out there. I look at it in really understanding and quantifying risk and things that could be perceived as more of a risk at a certain age. When you look at it 20 years later, 25 years later, whatever, you're like, there was no risk in that. There was that was could have gone for a little bit more or done different things. And so I think really kind of and probably having some more of the confidence that that things will work out, that you can take more of those risks, right? That, not saying to be stupid about stuff, but I spent so much time back then deliberating whether I should move to Australia. I loved it there. It was a great opportunity, but it didn't make the most sense financially and things there. And sometimes I think that's the best decision. You don't necessarily, it doesn't always have to make sense from a dollars and cents perspective. It's, if this is what's going to help you and help continue to either grow you as a person and as a career, look at it sort of both ways from things there.
Awesome. Well, great insight. Thank you very much, Bryan, and thanks for joining us today. Please visit comspark.tech for additional interviews.